Business Intelligence. Welcome to the lecture Business Intelligence. This is lecture December 4th, 2025. Today we will continue with the explanation of the standard communication protocol. From a strategic perspective, the approach is called Hoshin-Kanri Forest. Hoshin-Kanri Forest. Okay. Hoshin means direction. Actually, it means compass. Okay. This is Japanese, so always pointing to north. Kanri means management. And we talk about a forest because in theory management, networks are called trees. So if you put many trees together, you have a forest. Okay? So here we are talking about many hierarchical networks. Basically, you have in my website the link to the book describing this in more detail. If you are interested in strategic management or strategic organizational design, okay, this is the topic, strategic organizational design. You can try to find the book. I think you can even download it from the internet for free. Some motherfuckers just uploaded it. But I think it's nice to read it. Okay, it will not be part of this exam or so. The exam is just what we tell here. But you can learn more, and it's an interesting topic because it puts together strategic management, network theory, KPI management. You can link it to artificial intelligence and so on. So there are many things that are interesting in when you design an organization. Okay, so this was my first doctoral thesis, almost 10 years ago. Okay, so we have described the other day a standard communication protocol linking two people. Maybe you remember. If you don't remember, make sure you remember in the exam. Okay. So it is important. It's called CPDNA. Okay, CPD. And basically what you have is a current state of a KPI, so a time series in the check. Then you have here three elements. The current state of the process, you have the prioritization, you have the analysis, then you do something, and if the action is successful, you go and standardize. It's basically super easy, but it's very powerful. Okay? So, and now we're going to take this relational protocol and we are going to put it in context in an organization. Okay? So the case we are going to talk about is simple. Anybody can relate, I think. Case is a factory. And the starting point is the factory manager, okay? So from there we take it. Good, then we have the factory manager somewhere here. And of course, this is all just a toy example, okay? You can do all this with real numbers and using complex artificial intelligence. So this is the factory manager. And the factory manager gets his goals, his strategic goals. Of course, you should link this to the lecture, the very first lecture we had in this session, okay, where we were talking about alignment and everything. So everything has a unity, okay? So we have strategic goals, and the strategic goals come from the board, okay? And they're given. So you have a goal like EBITDA or cash flow, or I mean some higher level, right? So this factory manager has some production manager reporting to him or her, okay? So I'm sorry, it can be also a woman. So the report is going to be made following our standard communication protocol. So we have 3 such protocols. I tell you right away why 3, okay? So 3 such protocols. Let's say the strategic goal is EBITDA, okay? And this guy, the production manager, is reporting to the factory manager in a standard communication manner. We represent this like 3 arrows, okay? And this is the hierarchical relationship in the factory, so one is above the other. Is this understood or clear? So you are in a company, so you have a boss, okay? So the KPIs that are being reported in order to support the strategic goal of EBITDA, let's say EBITDA plus 10% by the end of the year, okay? I don't know. The strategic KPIs that will be reported are cash flow, return on invest, and let's say euros per unit. No, that's too close to, no. Let me see, ROCE, okay? Return on capital employed. Of course, I assume you know all this, okay? All these KPIs. This is like basics. If you don't know them, quick Google and you know them, okay? Just it's basics in business administration. So the first lecture of business administration, you should know what ROE, ROCE, EBITDA, and so on. It's cash flow. So this reporting is taking place once a month. So every month, this little fucker here is reporting 3 of the sheets we saw the other day. 1 on cash flow, 1 on ROE, 1 on ROCE, following always the same standard. All right? Simple. Only one This is the most important, crucial point. Only one communication standard for the whole organization. One common language. The reason why people in Germany call themselves Germans is because they all speak German. The reason why in Spain people call themselves Spanish is because they speak all Spanish. They speak other languages in Spain, like Catalan or Euskera in Baskenland, right? But they all know the language Spanish. Okay? So what makes one unity of human beings is a common language. Mm-hmm. So we are creating here a common language, a standard communication protocol. It's like a language, like the IP protocol we need to create internet. Without IP protocol, no internet. Okay? Does it make sense so far? So we create with one standard communication protocol, we create one connection between the production manager and the factory manager. Good. So this production manager has one guy reporting to him. Let's say he's a line manager. Imagine this is the guy working at the assembly line of some cars, okay? And for that, we want to support the goals of the production manager, so the KPIs of the production manager. So we choose 3 other new KPIs. How we choose the KPIs, we will see next week, okay? And the arrows means that we are reporting. So in order to support cash flow, ROE, and ROCE, we are going to take several KPIs. One is going to be lead time. Lead time is the amount of time that you need to bring from raw material to ready product, your product. We are going to take Umschlaghäufigkeit, how do you say in German, in English? Turnover rate. We're going to take the euros per unit produced. Okay? So these 3 KPIs, you have a question? Hallo, habt ihr eine Frage? We can take these 3 KPIs and support cash flow. The 3 KPIs support ROE. 3 KPIs support ROCE. How do we choose these KPIs is a matter of next week. Okay? So just, I'm taking you step by step. So we have a line manager reporting, every other week, so twice a month. 1 week yes, 1 week no, 1 week yes, 1 week no, to his production manager. This line manager has some guy, what in German is called Meister, or let's say foreman, okay? Foreman. This foreman is reporting, this guy is at the machine, okay? So he's not the line manager, he has only one machine. So this guy is reporting on also 3 KPIs to support the KPIs from the line manager. So everybody is supporting the upper level. The 3 KPIs from the foreman are change over time, This is the time needed to change from one product to the other product. Imagine you are producing yogurt. So you can change from strawberry to lemon. But to change... Hallo? Bist du mit uns oder bist du woanders? Nee, der Kollege. Ja. Sicher? Glaube ich nicht. Aber gut. Deine Entscheidung. To change from strawberry to lemon, we need to clean the machine, right? Because otherwise we fill in strawberry and it tastes like lemon. So this is the changeover time, the time in which the machine is not producing. Okay, so here we talk about quality. Let's say ppm, parts per million, the number of wrong parts per million produced, okay? And we talk about cycle time. This is the time needed to produce two parts, one after the other, okay? The Takt time in German. Okay, and this is being reported every week. As you see, the frequency is, that was the question from you last week. Okay, the frequency is changing. This is very important when we're talking about strategic organizational design, nested hierarchical networks. Hierarchical networks are like in the brain, different layers, okay? So super important, different frequencies, all adding up. So this is slower than this, and this is slower than this. Otherwise, the lower levels can never react to the changes in the strategic direction. Good. Once you have the foreman reporting, you can add another level, which is the, let's say, blue collar. Reporting every day or every shift. As I said, this is just a fake example, a toy, okay? But just to make the point. And the KPIs used by the blue collar to report to the foreman are the output of the line, the sick days per period, the output meaning number of parts per day or something like that, number of cars produced by day or something. The sick days and the rework rate. Whatever, okay, so we have we rework 5% of the parts because of mistakes in handling or something. All right? Does it make sense? It's logical, right? We have a hierarchical network right now. It's a hierarchy. So it goes from bottom to top or top to bottom, however you want to read it. This is hierarchical. Okay, this is the hierarchy. So one thing that it's very important if you enter an organization is that you can never go against your boss. If you try to go against your boss, you will perish. If you don't agree with your boss by principle, the best thing you can do is find another boss. Sooner or later, it will break you. You cannot break your boss. Best scenario, you both leave the company. Okay? I had, I mean, I'm on record, so I don't care. I had a boss, one company, who was cheating to the company. He was reporting only good parts to the quality department. Now, we had a quality department, and he was only sending good parts to the quality department, which is cheating. So I decided, because I was young and an idealist, I decided I would, I didn't agree, of course, so I decided I would make it public. Okay, so end of the story is that my boss got kicked out, but I got kicked out too. Because an organization cannot stand the pressure that I put on it. By making it clear that somebody was cheating and nobody was talking about it. Okay, so an organization is almost always based on power, relationships, and if you defy power, you better go. If you're strong, you can go and you can force the organization to give you money to go. But you need to be very strong here. Okay? I only have done this one time, and it took a toll on me, a lot of pressure and stress, and yeah. But I am happy to do it after the years. Okay, it brought me to a new level in my character. So you can do it if you don't have children, if you don't have a house to pay, you know. So, but if you have some liabilities, maybe you cannot do it. Okay, so it's important to see everything. Okay, so the first, and this is the reason why designing an organization should be, the backbone is always the hierarchy. Okay, so this is the first vector. It's always a hierarchy. Okay, so once we have the hierarchy in place, we go and we say, okay, this guy, the production manager, has some problems with lead time, meaning he's not getting his parts in time out, because we see here in the action, in the analysis, in the action, that the logistic manager is not performing. Logistics is not working well. So production cannot deliver because logistics is not working. So what do? Well, we install a process, or this is the logistic manager, and we install another connection with the logistic manager reporting to the production manager about delivery rate. How many parts are correctly delivered in how long? In percentage, okay? This is a second axis of expansion of our network, which is horizontal. It's based on the needs of the process, okay? So the second level, the second vector of expansion, it's the value creation. The process. You don't start expanding through the value creation without having the hierarchy closed. It will not work, okay? So what we have here, if you see, we have a hierarchical tree. Look at the image. Hello. Look. We have a tree. Okay. This is called a tree because it's a hierarchy. Okay. For the production manager, we have a tree, but we also have a tree for the logistic management, okay, which is going to be a little bit different. Doesn't matter. Okay? What happens if you go to the forest and you look up? Looks like the branches are touching, right? But they're not touching. Just looks like it. They're not touching. The trees look for spaces to fill in the space, okay, they look for ways to fill in the space to maximize light. What do we maximize here in our organization? The strategic goals. That's what we maximize. So the whole organization is based upon the strategic goals given by management. If you turn around, look out the window, look at that tree, it is impossible to know how those trees are going to look like in 5 years. You do not know. Nobody can know. It depends on the wind, it depends on the snow, it depends on the rain, it depends on the sun, it depends on so many things. Nobody can know how these trees are going to grow. Those things are organic. Nobody knows who you are going to become in 2030. Who knows? You might have children, you might have a family, you might be divorced, you might be dead. Nobody knows. Because you're organic, complex systems. Every single decision is going to affect the future. Okay? The same thing happens with organizations. Organizations are organic, complex systems, and nobody can know how they will develop. It depends on the market, it depends on management decisions, it depends on new technology coming. Whatever happens, it's just so complex, impossible to predict. Okay? That's why we need such systems that are, and this is important, fractal. Fractal, strategic, organizational design. Why is this fractal? Because it's self-similar. Self-similarity comes from standard communication protocol. CPDNA. Without this, everything crumbles. No common language, no fractality, no resilience to change. Okay? So there are a couple rules here. First rule is the maximum number of CPDNAs reported by, so this means the number of arrows going out of a single individual. An individual, process owner is 3. Otherwise, the organization lands into deterministic chaos. Okay? You can search for what deterministic chaos means. This means that very small changes in initial conditions lead to very different chaotic end conditions. So you don't want to have your organization on chaos because it's impossible to predict. You want to go and control it, okay, and guide it towards alignment. All right? So we have trees. We call this tree, okay? And this is also a tree because we have many trees. We have a forest, okay? The sum of the trees is going to make a forest as long as they're connected horizontally. And we have Hoshin direction-oriented management, Hoshin Kanri, because we have a strategic goal and every single KPI supports the upper level. How this supporting happens is a matter of next week, okay? And this is where we go into the numbers. Yeah, so as I said, this is an organic ecosystem. So you start growing your system like small. At some point you find managers that want to follow your system. And you expand the standardization protocol all over the organization, like in German we would say a Krake, or like a hydra, like a fungi, something that expands, organically, not knowing yet where we are going to end. You can expand this all the way to your suppliers also. Okay, so you can go to the left from the logistic manager, can go and say, okay, I'm going to be reported by my supplier. You can also expand this to your customers. Okay? So you can go to the infinite. The more people you get on board, the better your whole process is under control. You have everything visualized, and you don't need to care anymore about your competition, because you will crack them down without even noticing. You're just activating the power of an organization. Okay? I have implemented this method in Japanese, German, and US-based companies, and usually gets you up 15-20% increase on revenue, EBITDA, something like that. Okay? Short term, let's say 6 months to 12. Because you activate. It's a different sort of power you are activating. It's very powerful, and I totally recommend that you jump into it. Of course, this is just a lecture, okay? So it's your call. You need to decide where your future is going to take you, but I found this very interesting when I was a little bit younger. So right now I care about more artificial intelligence and quantum computing and stuff like that, but this I thought was very interesting at that time. All right? Any questions? Yep.
I have a question. The value creation will be like expand our information, like having more tools.
No, the value creation is let's say you have a metal coil, you take it to the next process and you create a door, and then from the door you need to paint it. You paint the door, and then once it's painted, you assemble it into the car, and then you put the electric, and then you put the electronics, and then you have a car with a door. So you are adding value, you're creating value, It's the flow of the process. But you don't start creating an organizational design through the value creation. This is a mistake, because first you need the hierarchy. Sometimes, many times, people in organizations don't work to support the organizational goals. They work to support their own goals. Okay? This is power-oriented, but it's very human. Okay? So they support remember the guy only sending good parts to the quality department. This is something like you would never do if it were your business. But because it was a bigger organization, he was just trying to save his bonus at the end of the year, giving a good image. You get me? So be careful with people that are only trying to optimize themselves, working in organizations. Bad business. The other aspect is psychopathy, okay? So people having psychological problems, and management tends to empower to higher levels people with high levels of psychopathy. Which is very sad, but you see Donald Trump, the US top psychopath, narcissist, whatnot. This motherfucker is just, NSA can come and get me, but this guy is just driving the world nuts. What the fuck? So we have, on top of the world, the most powerful man in the world is a psychopath, narcissistic motherfucker. And we're fucked. So same thing, different level in organizations all over the place. All over the fucking place. All over the place. In any organizations you will find bosses that harass women because they're women, they're treated like shit. Bosses that harass others that are more intelligent. Bosses that harass others because of the skin color, because of their country of origin. I've been harassed because I'm from Spain, in Germany. And what I said was, fuck you, I'll look for another place. I'm bringing you money, you don't want it? Fuck you. But still, it doesn't feel good to be harassed because you're a woman. You didn't want to, nobody asked you to be born a woman, right? So you were born a woman, it's wonderful, but you're going to be mistreated, most likely. And you need to get hard in your brain to reject that behavior from people. And be able to be strong and say, I don't want this. I don't need you, fuck you. Okay? It's super important to learn to say no to people. What do you do if your girlfriend cheats on you? Cheating? Or your boyfriend cheats on you. What do you do? Yeah, but some people start, it was only once. Oh, no, maybe it was not like that. Second chance. No, this is, if some guy, some girl, some guy is not trustworthy, the best thing you can do is run as fast as you can. Say, go fuck yourself. Go love yourself. There's a song somewhere. Go love yourself. Because this relationship is not worth it, right? It's not going to take you anywhere. You don't want to create a family with somebody that cheats on you. You don't want to have kids forever with somebody that cheats on you, right? That it's not a good thing. Long term, no future. So the best thing you can do is say, hey, okay, I know you better. Thank you for the information. Don't contact me again, ever. Okay, I'm dead for you. And go out and find somebody else, higher, taller, prettier, whatever the fuck you're looking for. Okay? But for that, you need character. And young people sometimes lack it. Sometimes I was there, okay, so that's why I know. Some people, young people, sometimes are weak, think about Hollywood, think about romantic love, I don't know. So the same thing that I'm telling you about a romantic relationship, the same thing goes for business. You don't want to trust somebody that cheats on the company. You don't want to trust a business partner that is cheating on his or her wife or husband. Because if he or she cheats, then he's going to cheat on you in business. It just takes interest to do it. Okay? So get tough in your brains and don't let anybody fuck your brains. Okay? Nobody gets into your head. Nobody. This is the kind of character that we need to protect ourselves from psychopaths and narcissists and whatnot. Okay? If you're interested in more material about narcissistic behavior, for instance, I can give you a book recommendation, super interesting, and everybody under 25 should read it. Okay, it's must. Because narcissists are all over preying on young people because they're pretty, or on older people because they are rich, or on people with power because they have power and they can give resources. Okay, so, and there are ways to protect yourselves. But the rule is, don't let yourself get fucked in the brain. Lass niemand euch in den Kopf ficken. Auf Deutsch. Okay? So, anyway, that was a bit